Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch and be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench, which is right below in memory of our friends. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you're not a member, please register, and it's free at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunthangar, will not approve you. If you're inclined to not come in and enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments right over here. I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do this during a live stream. Once you get the replays, that goes away. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host or the many building videos, contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up. Thumbs, that's the like button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe, share the videos, comments. Also help the Stunthangar YouTube channel membership grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I'm a member. I have the $4.99 coming out of my own checking account. And I've been doing this before I actually became a host of the show. It's been like 4 years now I've been doing this. And I don't miss it. And I suspect you won't miss it either. Plus, you'll be supporting your hobby, which I hope is a passion of yours, something you're really excited about and really enjoy, like I do. And so this is a way of supporting us. It helps to offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar, and it really helps out. And if you can't do the monthly subscription, you can do the super chats. The super chats are located right over here below the chat box. It's a big dollar sign. Now, during the replay, the super chat goes away. So please, on the screen there, hit the three dots, and then a menu will pop up, and select Super Thanks. And that'll direct you to how you can make donations to support the show that way. And you can donate any amount you like. Hopefully you donate in line with what you're receiving. I know that I think we deliver incredible information. I'm still learning, even hosting the show after all these years. There's some great information. There's a lot of things that people think that everybody knows that. And you'd be surprised that not everybody knows that. So it's great. It's a great opportunity for you to learn. And some of our guests in the gallery are former world champions, former national champions, or in the top 5 at the Nats. I mean, we have some really qualified individuals that you can definitely build on the shoulder of giants listening to them and compress time frames by doing what they're doing. And it's not the only way to do it, but you know, they've tried the rest and they're showing you the best that they do. Okay, so think about it. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I have my own channel, so if you want to get in touch with me, the best way to do that is to go to my channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. Flying Control Line Stunt. You know, I fly control line and it's Flying Control Line Stunt. Hope I helps you remember Flying Control Line Stunt. Go there, and if you would, locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which is a video that Sparky shot with his video camera, me flying his beautiful and light Junar XL. I mean, it was orange back then. I think it's white today with orange trim, and he's going to repaint that plane. That really is one of his best flying planes. He really enjoys it, and I had a great time flying it. So check it out. And if you would please like, share, and subscribe there at my channel, it helps me as well. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. And I got in the gallery already. I see one person in the gallery. I see Gary Sinclair is here already. Fantastic. And hi, Gary. How you doing?
Right? Pretty good.
Good to see you.
Pretty good. It's
Let me get.
hot out our way.
Oh, really? Like how hot is that?
Oh, in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not
Heat
quite
wave.
that hot
Heat
out here.
wave.
Yeah, out here it's only in the 80s. So let me get to the what I call the control panel and set the show up. Let's see here. Making my way there right now. And let's see. Just give me a few more moments here. A few more clicks. Let's see here. I wish there was a better way, and it might be. I just don't know it. But this works. I just need to do this every time. Uh, Make sure. There we go. Got that done and that done. All right. Fantastic. So we have in the first one in the chat box is Roy Lane. He's a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Roy, for your financial support. And he says, good evening, like provided. Thank you very much, Roy. And Gary Sinclair, who's in here in the gallery with me, he's also in the chat box. He's a member of our YouTube channel. And he's also a monitor on the channel. So he can actually pause people, block people if they're misbehaving. He said, hi, everyone, like provided. Then Daniel Berry Sports Highlight says, yo, and we are off and running. So let me get this going. I went out today, Gary. I went and did some
Did you?
flying with one of my flying buddies, Stuart Mossman, who mostly flies combat, but he doesn't compete. He just flies combat planes, and he flies very well, as a matter of fact. And he delivered two more stunt trainers for me. I still need to install the control system as far as the lead outs and install a fuel tank. I have to make a custom fuel tank for them, but that makes a total of four. That's I have four complete ones and then an extra wing. But they all still need to be trimmed out. The two he delivered, I still have a lot of work on to do on them. And I have a second one that I haven't really flown. The first one I've flown. The second one I received from him, I haven't set that up yet. And I got two more, which does have some improvements that he built in. So I'm looking forward to getting those things squared away and hopefully start really challenging myself, knowing that I'm not, if I was to crash, knowing that I'm not, out of business with that one. I have some more in store. So that's what the strategy was, but I haven't had them all working. I only have one right now, so I'm still flying like I have a single plane, and but I'm looking forward to not having to worry, knowing I have another one that's ready to put up in the air. So I've been waiting for these to be delivered for some time. Not a long time, but I've been waiting. I'm kind of like I'm still anxious to get things. I, still, I keep thinking I'm gonna grow out of that, but I still get anxious to receive things, especially things I want. It's just funny.
It's
Hey,
part of it.
John Miller is in the house. Hey, John, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you guys?
Doing
Good.
good. Doing good.
You
Doing
beat
good.
me today, Gary.
Yeah, I guess. I did
Gary is
Everything
fast.
must have been working good.
good. We had working good.
Gary is fast. Yeah, I challenged anyone to beat
Sometimes.
Gary. I can tell you people who beat
Sometimes.
Gary. I know Mark Wise beat you one time.
Yeah.
I think you beat him before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
John,
he's
you've been the first one quite often lately. So I
there's a
appreciate you guys doing
he'll
that.
fall asleep or his computer don't act up and something. So, you know.
Fantastic. So let me see here. So John, what you been up to?
Oh, normal. I finished up. I think I finished up everything on the plans for the Trailblazer. I've got all of the small drawings set up so that you can print it on your printer. If you don't have access to a commercial printer that can do the job. And but I think feedback I'm getting from a couple I've sent it to is they try to, I send them the main drawing, but it's got the red rectangles on it and the number of and that's just for them to know where everything goes. But I think they're trying to go there and open just that one that's on that drawing. And that didn't work. You have to go open the drawing on with the, like, uh, for instance, sheet 1-01 is the first one in the upper left-hand corner.
I see.
And then you open you print that, then you open the next one, sheet 1-02, which is the one right next to it. You go across, then I think it's like 10 or 9 or 10, and then you're on the next row down, and then the next row down, and you go across, you get them all. So,
And that is really great that you did that for people who don't have access to a place that can print the full sheet. That is awesome.
yeah, it took a little extra time, but you know what? I think it'll be worth it,
It is, and it's like, I mean, you've gone
Yeah.
over and beyond what most people do. I mean, even the parts list, calling out the materials that they're going to need. That is, I mean, you are really fantastic. That's really awesome.
Oh, thank you. The parts list, the bill of materials, that's one of those things that's going to be a work in progress till we get the first 3 or 4 prototypes finished. We'll have a much better idea. But I'm trying to make sure that on the plans that because it's so hard to find when you're scratch building, it's so hard to find people that are where to get certain parts. And so the idea of trying to get on there where you can get the parts, what the part numbers are, and that's the whole idea behind that, just to make it easier and better. Because, and it's my opinion now with basically all of the, I think caffeine is getting beat up there.
Yeah, caffeine's gun is
with all the
it's loving all over him what he's doing, really.
yeah, with all of the parts and everything that you need, it just, so anyway, that's what that's all about.
I think that's great, though. I really do. I've I don't come across so many plans like that. I know there was one, but I think so. Yours is only the second one I've seen that's done that.
Well, I think I got the idea from someone somewhere. It's not an original idea. Including the way I do it, including the plans that you can print it on your printer. That was my idea, doing it that way. Now there are programs that you can download into, and it'll do that for you. But I didn't have access to that program, so I had to do it all manually. But it's just, I'm just trying to make it easier for people. I plan on doing it from here on out with most of the plans that I do. So
That is awesome.
The flight test does that.
pardon?
Flight test.
Haven't flown, one hasn't been finished yet. So we don't
No,
have.
I mean flight test with these little styrofoam airplanes. That's where they started out doing that. So because I read off several like that, yeah, to get
okay.
the plans. Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I run into the problem even where, for instance, what are some of the local large print houses you can go to? It's unlike you go into an engineering print shop, where they work with architects and engineers and that, and they're printing plans all the time, and
yeah, that's the best way.
They know how to do it, and they know how to make sure that everything's in a proper scale. But a lot of these, and the smaller ones, and I'm trying to think of the name of one of them, and that's just eluding me right at the moment. But the smaller ones, some of them, they've got people that know how to do it right. They got other people that just learned how to do it yesterday. And I've seen people have problems with one of the typical things they'll do is that
excuse me.
instead of printing it at 1-to-1, they'll print it to fill the paper.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever size paper you got there, that's
Yeah.
what that drawing is going to be. Well, if that drawing is smaller than the other drawing, then all the parts will be bigger on that drawing than on the other, and they just don't match up. So um, being able to print it on your printer, it's not the most elegant solution, but it's
Right.
one that works.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And all it's going to cost you is a little ink. And I use a regular sheet size, but I put it on legal size paper, so it's a little bit longer to
Right.
just a little more, to work with, when you're gluing, taping them together, so that you got more to work with, so just a little thin edge.
Hey, John, let me interrupt you real quick. Now, just for our people who don't know, when you get the plans printed, you want to measure that scale that you provide and make sure that scale is now your scale on that plans is 6 inches or is it 12 inches? What is that scale off the top of your head?
On mine, it's 6 inches.
6 inches. So you want to put a ruler against that, and you should measure exactly 6 inches. Should line up exactly right. Then you know the whole plans is right.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of I've got the scale in a horizontal down on the bottom, but I'm
Right.
thinking of putting a scale on the vertical on one side, because sometimes they get the X and the Y axis can be
Oh,
off.
interesting. Yeah.
And so, it might be thinner top to bottom,
Uh,
and, it'll be right lengthwise, but top to bottom. Another thing I do on the plans, a fellow from England sent me an email asking me if I would consider doing this. They work, of course, in the rest of the world, they work with metrics. And so everything's in meters or centimeters or decimeters, whatever. And so like we use 36-inch wide paper here in the US, but most of the rest of the world is working in metrics. I think their paper's about 34 inches wide. And so what was happening, they would try to print, and they get a 36-inch wide print, and they can't fit it on the piece of paper, so they have to cut a little bit off. And it just was a problem for them. So since then, I've started everything I actually do it on a 33-inch wide paper. It might be 6 feet long, but it's 33 inches wide. And that gives you a good margin top and bottom, when you print it with 36-inch paper. But it gives our friends, in the rest of the world that are dealing in metrics, it gives them a drawing that fits what their paper is, what they can get it.
right.
So,
Very, very good. Let me
Yeah.
move on to caffeine because I'm getting in the gallery is getting crowded.
yeah.
Caffeine. Hey, how's it going, caffeine? What's been up to? Roger,
Hi.
and then Keith, and then Brendan.
All right. So, so I probably later.
Say it again.
Probably later because my boy is crying.
Okay, yeah. Take care of your
Oh,
son. All right, then that brings up Mark Gerber. Hey, Mark, long time no see.
Charles.
I'm excited to hear what you took back or takeaways from Brodax.
Well, I got a few pictures.
All right, cool. And then hi, Keith Trossel, and hi, Brendan. I'll be with you guys shortly.
Oh, wait a minute, it didn't work. Bear with me a minute here.
No problem.
Okay.
All right. Look at that. Brodax 2024.
So I was out of Brodex and we had a lot of fun. It was one of the best years we've had in terms of weather.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
I had about 95 entries, so that was about what it was the year before. So that was nice to see it holding up.
Yeah.
I took my P40. This is a picture from Las Vegas, actually, because I didn't have a picture from Brodex.
Okay. All right.
I flew that in Classic Advanced. I had a lot of problems. It didn't fly very well.
Is that a painted plane or is that film? What is that?
No, that's Brodecto
Man, it's
silkspan.
shiny. Well, yeah, I can see your reflection in the wing panel there. That's great.
I probably sprayed some wax on it before I took the picture.
Smart man. Nothing wrong with that.
And I flew my Ryan in Pampa Advanced,
Okay.
and it was flying really well. I was really pleased with it. It was
It's a
a
nice looking airplane.
picture that Jim Barry took when I was waiting on the tank to run out. So,
Very nice. Now, is that
and
Ryan?
then,
Is it based upon another model, or is it actually kind of a scale, semi-scale Ryan, or is it a
well, it's
modified?
a Charles Parrott PT-20. He published that in Model Airplane or in American Modeler. I think it was 1961.
And what engine do you have in there, and what's the wingspan?
It's an Aero Tiger 36. It's a 55 inches, I believe.
Mhm.
Oh, it's a nice size plane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had this done at VSC as well. But it really likes that thick air at Brodex. So I was enjoying the flying. And then here's Tim Tipton had a bad day.
Oh yeah, he did. Looks like he's missing the wing,
Yeah,
that wing panel.
this is an ARF smoothie, and he was doing the square 8, and he pulled up to go into the vertical climb, and the wing came off. And
Oh,
he was great piloting to save it, but he was able to fly the tank out, and then here's what it looked like when it's.
Oh,
man. Yeah, I've seen that before. My friend Carl Reed, I gave him a plane, and the outboard wing panel came off on him flying too. So I've seen that.
I think it's happened to somebody else too, but
Yeah.
I was sitting in the tent with Tim, and so we were helping each other fly. So I got a close-up view of this one. But I think the thing that got the most attention was Andre Vasilek showed up with his maneuver tracking camera and videoed all of the expert flights in Pampa on Saturday, I believe it was, the last day. And I guess after the contest was over, I left, but I guess a whole bunch of people stuck around, and he videoed, I don't know how many more flights he'd do anybody who showed up and wanted to have it done. So
Nice.
I guess there was a line of people waiting to get it done. It really, I think, is a great way to critique your own flying. I mean, you can see from the tracing where the thing went, and it may look good to your eye, but if you have that reference circle here,
Right.
here's the 45-degree line right here,
Okay.
which is really hard to see without some reference, but you're not allowed to use a reference.
Right.
Um, there's some talk about maybe this will make it possible to automate the judging, but I think that's probably a long way off. But Andre's done a lot of work on this, and it really getting to be something that's practical to use. So
Yeah. So that circle looks like it's as far as the span of the maneuver. I mean, it's kind of hard. Is that less than 45 degrees or
well, the white circle is the reference.
okay?
That's a 45-degree circle.
As far as the height, but as far as the perimeter of the circle, you're not supposed to go beyond 45-degree arc, right?
Right. So it represents the horizontal as well. So this is Joe Daly who won.
Okay.
And if you look at this flight without the tracking, it looks really good. But then you put the tracking on there and you put the circle in there and you realize it wasn't quite as good as it looked.
Right. But I'm looking at the
So-
reference, the white circle, and it looks like it's tighter than 45 degrees.
Well, the reason it looks a little tighter is because it's
It is.
cockeyed to the right about 22 and a half degrees. directly across from the camera would be right behind Joe. Here's the pilot.
Right.
So if you move the circle over here, then it will look around or more round, I guess. So Andre has the software set up to take care of this perspective issue.
Okay.
And he's got all the maneuvers in there, and it's pretty neat to see the cloverleaf and some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty complicated, but I think Keith Schrossel's on yeah, Keith's on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made a comment in an old post I discovered this morning on Stunthangar that it would be really difficult to try to quantify this and come up with a way to automate the scoring. But he thinks that's why the judges get paid so much.
That's, I actually talked to him about this exact thing, and I said you can probably give 3 scores for it, right? From here, you can probably extrapolate how consistent the maneuver is, overlapping, right? So you can definitely take this whole path that he described over there for the loops, for example, and you see how far the path is from each other. So right here in this case, probably going to see even 4 or 5 feet worth of difference, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can do one for the shape. You can do an average of the path, right, which is going to give you an average shape, right? And you compare with the circle, how close they are, and the third one, the third score would be size, where it looks at the bottoms and the tops and how big the maneuver is, right? So I
Right.
give individual scores for all the 3 elements, and you average them, and you pull out a score. You're done. That's how,
I think it would take a lot of testing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the hardest part is like what is the maneuver starts and ends, and isolating that, because
Yeah.
once you have that, you can mathematically do some averages, right? And you
Right.
can do them. You can think of it as a 2D a two-dimensional figure, right? At this point, that's what's on the screen, right?
Right.
So as long as your camera is somewhat upwind, right, you can give some pretty accurate scores, because what you see here on the screen, I mean, you compare the white circle with the average of the path, right? And are they kind of parallel everywhere? If yes, then mean the shape is good, right? Then you look at the path itself only now to get the size and the consistency, right? And I mean, I think if you find a way to isolate where the maneuver starts and ends, and look only at that section of the path, I think mathematically you should be able to do like a 2D interpretation, and give the 3 scores and get it done.
Anyway, I think Andre's done an amazing amount of work here, and he's
Oh,
Yeah.
really got a useful tool. And
Yeah.
whether we go ahead and develop it into some kind of automated scoring system or not, it's
Actually,
still great for.
I don't even think it comes from Andre. I think it comes from Italy. From
Well, I was looking at the old post. There's a guy from Spain,
no,
Alberto
it's Italy.
Solera,
Alberto Solera, yes.
is from
Yep.
Spain, and
Oh,
he
it's from
said
Spain. Okay.
he said that he basically wished Andre a lot of luck because he was going to stop working on it because he was starting a PhD program in aerospace engineering at
Uh-huh.
some university in Spain that I don't remember the name anymore.
Mhm.
So I gather he's in graduate school right now.
So
And
Andre is taking over it, right?
I guess. I mean, I don't think he took over what Alberto did, but they were on similar tracks
Yeah.
trying to solve the same problem.
Before you change the screen, let me ask Keith. Keith, do you have any comments on this tracing?
Well, I think if we saw that as a judge, we'd score those loops pretty high from, 10 to 40, without the reference of the little white circle there. I would probably judge those things somewhere 36 plus.
Yeah, well, he won, so that's probably consistent.
But the problem is trying to get a computer then to see that and then to quantify. You can talk about errors and degree of error, and that's
Yes.
where you have problem with trying to quantify it, because how much do you deduct for
Yeah.
minor deviation, more of a deviation, big deviation, or wild deviation? And I guess it might be more consistent than a judge sitting there with two eyeballs that doesn't have any
Yeah.
reference at all.
Exactly. Whatever the reference is going to be the same for everybody.
Yeah,
So you can come to some kind of an agreement. Let's say if your maneuver is at 60 degrees, okay, you don't get much points for the size, right? If it's at 45, you get more points for the size, for example, right?
yeah.
And then you can probably say, well, let's set it at 60 degrees. It's a 45, 60, so it's a 15 degrees error, right? Let's say a point for each 1.5 degree of error, right? So at 60 degrees, will give you 0 points for size. At 45, it's going to give you 10 points for size.
Well,
So
okay, you're talking FAI rules too, so
it's AMA too. AMA is 45 degrees too.
well, yeah, but you have 100 points to play with in FAI rules. We only have 30 points to play with. And you can adjust your scale or the metric. That's not a
Yes.
problem, but it's just a
Yeah.
matter then of somebody coming up with some sort of how do you start scoring points off
Mhm.
for minor, intermediate, major deviations. And that's where you're going to run into a lot of problem with trying to program this thing. It might be, and again, if it's done right, eventually it'll be more consistent than a judge with two
Yeah.
eyeballs.
Yeah, they'll be just bulletproof, consistent, and then you have one judge, the computer, and then you're done.
Well, I didn't get a chance to talk to Andre. I don't know what his plans are for future development here, but what he's got right now is very useful for training.
At least for training, yes. When you look at the shape of the maneuvers and stuff like that, you can say, oh, I need to work here, I need to work there.
Right.
I would love to trace one of my flights to see what the heck I'm doing wrong.
Same here. Because those
Yeah.
rounds are a little bit oval. They're not totally.
No, they're not.
No,
Well,
no.
the ones being flown are pretty round, but you're right. They're a little bit oval, but it's hard to see because our perspective's not quite right.
Yeah.
And no judge, if you got two or three judges, there's only one judge that might be in the right position to properly see the thing. And so
Anyway, somebody was asking Andre if he's going to go to the Nats or the Worlds and take some pictures there. And
I'm pretty sure
I
the
didn't-
answer is yes.
I didn't hear his answer, but I hope he is. I think it'll be
Yeah.
very instructive.
John has a comment or question. Go ahead, John Miller.
Yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm seeing the consistency. Like the first two traces, they're almost right on top of each other. Little deviation. The last one, the yellow one, there's quite a bit more deviation, and it apparently that would be, I would consider a major error. But the thing that I'm looking at here is, I would say, and it should be able to be done if you're using a computer and you've set up, but you could set up a comparison pattern, probably drawn by the computer, but showing what the maximum 40 point would look like, and then showing the middle type, what the middle type of pattern, and what the bottom or the 10 or 15 point would look like, and judge between where does this thing fall between. If I was judging this thing right now, just looking at it, not having that round circular, I'd give it pretty high points, because he walked it a little bit, but his bottoms are really close to the where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And though his tops are a bit high, they're, if you really look at it closely, I would say they're only a couple of feet higher, except for that red trace. So that's a pretty consistent loop.
Yeah, I think
Being
John,
flown
you
by
and
a
I
human.
agree, because I said a while ago, I would have, without that white circle in there, I would have judged that thing as around 36 points or more,
Yeah.
given what everybody else is probably going to be flying that day.
Now I have a comment from Stephen Smith. He says the maneuver pictured would receive a score of no more than 31 points due to the errors based on the tracing. That's the original Steve Smith in St. Louis. He's a Nats judge, so
Yeah.
that's
Well, but he doesn't have that circle to compare it with.
Yeah, that's the hard thing to
Makes
do,
no
Judge.
What,
If
you
you
know,
don't have that white
let's say
circle,
some what ifs, right? What if the judges don't even sit on the circle, as seen in an air conditioned room, and they just watch on a big screen this?
Good idea.
That's
And
what they
and
do.
and and as we progress with our flight, all we have to do have a circle judge over there, which has a stopwatch in a hand, and invites you to the flight. Make sure that you are the correct person over there, and the rest is done.
Anyway,
you
a bunch
know,
of these are on YouTube. I think the links are in
Yeah,
Stunthangar
they're a lot of them.
someplace.
all right.
And you can watch the flight. You can see it tracing each maneuver.
All right.
Yep.
I just stopped it right here to catch a
Yep.
picture
Okay.
to show.
Thank you.
So anybody who wants to look at them can go look at them.
Yep.
Got some more pictures from Brodax or some more things to share?
Well, after Brodax, I went to the Air Force Museum.
Oh, nice.
There's a Ryan PT-20 that they have hanging up, pretty cool. So after that, I came home, and I guess I'll stop at this point.
Okay.
Just got back Tuesday. I'm trying to get everything unpacked and catch up on paying bills and everything else.
Right. Thank you very much, Mark. Thanks for sharing. So let's see here. I have a question for you, Mark. Since you went there, sometimes I go to contests, I do pick up some things I didn't know or learn. Did you learn anything at Brodax?
I don't know. I think I'm too old to learn anything, but
Don't ever think that. Then you'll you always gotta keep your parachute open. That way it'll work.
I don't know. I was busy. I was trying to help. What's his name? Moon. Doug's son.
Hey, Jake,
Jake.
Sing-
Yeah. He was having all kinds of
the
problems.
Singapore guy.
He was having all kinds of problems, and everybody was trying to help him. And he was using my fuel, and I took his motor clear apart and got another motor and replaced the guts and put that back together. By the time they got all done, it seemed to be flying pretty well by Saturday, but he spent an awful lot of time. He got it out. He got the new motor, revised motor put in. The next flight, one of his flaps came off,
Oh no.
and he survived that and put the flap back on. He got a pretty good score on Saturday in the final day. So,
All right, that's cool. So let me go to Keith Trossel. Hey Keith, how you doing? What you been up to?
same thing, not much progress in anything. I sit here and look at it, but
That's okay. That happens, you know.
keep saying tomorrow I'm gonna, at least got the workbench cleaned off to start working on something there.
Good, good. You have any plans as far as a contest in the future? What you're planning on attending?
Just Las Vegas and then VSC and then that's next year. That's it.
All right, cool. You're not going to go to the Golden State Sun Championships?
No,
Okay. Cool. All right. Let me see in the chat box. I have Bob Hudak who says, "With wish Hangout started earlier. I understand that. For the peeps on the East Coast, I totally understand that. I see how long I can hang in with you guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Bob. And that's why people watch the replays. And I mean, we get a lot of views after the live show, and I understand that. Jeff Riley says, hi, Charles. Liked, check. Thank you very much. And he says hi to all the guys. And then Stephen Smith said, I think if we were ever to go to automated scoring, the score will go down significantly. And then Dennis Adams, who's a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Dennis, for your support. He says, like given, but don't think I can join in tonight. Thank you very much, Dennis. And then Jeff Riley, he retracted that message. And Bob Hudak says, the human eye only sees 30 frames per second. Where are you going to hide your mistakes? You know. And then let me see. Jeff Riley says, show us a picture like that of the vertical 8. I'd imagine it would be scored about 32. And then Stephen Smith said, I would like that. And then Stephen Smith says, sitting in the air conditioning room, just watching the video with the tracing. Nice. Great. Great.
Anyway, if you want to see a vertical 8, get on YouTube and look at some of those. I mean, all the maneuvers of each pattern in there. So.
All right, cool. And let me see here. So next is Brandon and Angstrom. How you guys doing?
All right. Yep, we got unmuted there. Hey, almost everybody in the family flew tonight. We took a swim. I mean, we're in the middle of a heat wave out here.
Yeah.
I'm still sweating, honestly. But yeah, we got everybody up, and then Angstrom was getting up, like you were about to get up when it was getting dark, and then we were trying out this new carrier plane we got here. He's been excited to get it up, but the problem is the lead outs were too close to each other on the original design that the guy gave us, and he could tell that the wires were rubbing on each other and kind of catching.
Yeah.
And so he smartly bailed out, even though I know he really wanted to get this thing up and see what was happening with it. So,
man,
yeah. Yep. But when I say everybody got up, my wife flew rugged stunt trainer. My daughter got up and flew rugged stunt trainer.
So fantastic!
I got some practice in with the twister. So truly, everybody in the family got up today, except the one who flies all the time.
That is awesome. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, but we got our eyes on Muncie. Angstrom about a month ago, right before Brodax, got a Skyray carrier that we trimmed up and got ready, and we participated in like 3 events there. And then we started looking into Muncie and kind of what they got available. And we found out there are 4 carrier events. 3 of them are electric and 1's combustion. There are 4 carrier events where there's no junior to have a NATS record. There's no NATS record at all for a junior. And so we are working feverishly to get him entered in all 4 events with some sort of plane to set the junior marks in those, because this is his last year as a junior.
Nice. Very, very good. Now, do you
go ahead.
Is there a magician there in that room?
Yeah, is the magician in here?
Because Jeff Riley said nice magician. I didn't see it.
We're wondering, is that the one you're talking about, Angstrom? We had questions about this plane, if this is what he's asking about. What is this?
Let me see the rudder bar. I can't see
the it's a magician.
That is a magician?
Not a magician wing.
It's been, well, the fuselage has been played with a little bit, but they did that a lot, back in the day.
Yeah, it's got an extra bay. It's got a longer bay.
Magician doesn't have a curved wing, does it?
No.
Yeah, that's like kind of elliptical wing kind of looking thing. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what it is, because we were wondering if we had something that might be classic legal here. That was our hope.
Jeff Riley says maybe it's a profile smoothie.
Where did you get it?
No, it's not a profile.
We picked it up from Peter Klosky. He brought it out to Brodax last year, and we picked it up off of him. But,
see how narrow the stab is on that? I mean, that's That's not a magician, nor is it a
You can't hold.
smoothie.
That is, yeah, that is a very narrow stab.
Stab is very narrow. You're right.
But the placement of the stab is magicianish. The rudder is kind of like a Palmer design. So I can see where the idea for might be a profile smoothie, but if you look at the front, the front there, how thin it is, it's thin up there like the magician is, top to bottom. And I think what it is, I think somebody took a magician kit and bashed it and came up with, their own adaptation of the design.
Check out the elevator, how it has those, what do you call that part that's moving in front next to the stab? Can you move the elevator for me?
Counterweight.
It's a horn.
Yeah.
Those are called
Counterweight.
there you go.
Counterweight.
It looks like the one on the inboard side though might have been broken because you look at the one on the outboard, how far up it is.
Yeah, it is. It's ready to come off.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we were hoping we had something that could possibly be classic legal, but doesn't quite sound like it because
if you can get if you can get somebody with a picture of it or somebody that saw it being flown on that day, then you got no problem. So if you get it to where it's a kit bashed plane, magician, but see it's that curved rear portion of the wing, but that's easy to do. It's just a matter of with your fixed. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I'm having a rough time with memory today. I tell you, it's hell to get old. I guess.
But I'm not familiar with any profile that had like that with a straight leading edge, elliptical trailing edge, and the profile on that fuselage, and the shape of the vertical tail, and the configuration of the horizontal tail with a skinny stabilizer compared to the rest of the elevators. That is totally unknown to me.
Yeah.
So it sounds like maybe it's worth throwing the picture up on Stunthangar, just seeing if people have seen this before or
good idea.
You can establish the year the thing was built. You'd have a chance at Nostalgia 30, I think. But
sure, yeah. Okay, well, we'll throw it up on Stunthangar. Check it out.
Have you flown it all yet? Have you flown it?
No, we have not. We've got our stunt wagon that we've used for old time stunt, and obviously you can use that then and move that up to classic because it's older than a classic plane. But the stunt wagon we have is not very good on edgy maneuvers. It's just kind of waffles a lot. So the old time stunt has a lot more rounded stuff that you can get away with. But edgy stunts, it just doesn't pull that off very well. So we were hoping that if, for instance, we're going to the North Beast and they have a classic event, and we don't have any other classic eligible plane other than that stunt wagon. So we were hoping maybe we had something we could work with.
All right.
So
very cool. Well, thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
See if you can come up with a profile nobler.
Yeah.
Brendan,
can I? Go ahead, Lynn.
Brendan, can I ask you a couple of questions about that plane?
Sure.
Okay, just in front of the landing gear, what's the width of the fuselage?
What's the width of it?
Just in front of the landing gear, what is the width of the fuselage there? If it's
top
3 inches, yeah, top to bottom, just in front of the landing gear. Because the magician had a 3-inch fuselage.
We're at about 3 1/4.
Okay.
3 1/4.
That wing itself, is the wing elliptical, or is the trailing edge of the flap that's glued to the back of the wing just elliptical?
It doesn't have
So-
flaps.
Yeah, there's no
Oh, they are-
flap.
it's
It's
got-
just
It's a
the whole
stationary
back of
flap.
it.
Okay. Yeah, so it's very elliptical. Okay. Yeah,
And then,
it doesn't look.
I mean,
Yeah,
one
it
of the
doesn't look like a. It doesn't look like a magician wing.
No.
So
Yeah,
I
one of
don't.
the
So
few,
it's not a magician.
one of the few other things, and it just may be how they decided to do it. You also see right
Yeah.
here, there's just a curve going
Yeah.
into it as well.
Yeah, it's not a. It's not a. It's not a magician wing, so it won't qualify. Sorry for that. That's too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Well, thanks for trying to help on that.
Yeah. All right, so let me go next to Tryon. Hey, Tryon, how's it going? Is he still here? There he is.
Good. It's
What you
going
been-
good. I'm working on a new plane. Right now, I'm just putting
wow.
together my stuff before I close the mold.
Very
So
nice.
Look at that.
Very nice.
so that's how it works. This is just one piece.
Wow.
This is what aligns my take apart holes here, and I have like 6 little pins that go around to mate the two halves, like when a nose goes in.
Right.
So, but this is for my rails. I have an L-shaped rails. They go one in each corner, and the battery slides in between them. So this is that. And I also have a fuselage here. That's
Wow.
in a mold, ready to assemble.
Look at that.
So over the
I'm so
weekend, I'm
jealous.
gonna go ahead.
Said I'm so jealous.
Okay.
So that's that. Yeah. So I'm making that right now.
Thank you, Tryon.
If you guys want to, Monday would be a good time to maybe spend a little bit of time and show you how I mold the elevator or a wing.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But Monday I work till 10 o'clock, so I'm going to be home at 10:30. So it's going to be an 11 to 12 kind of thing.
Okay.
Local time. If you guys are interested. If not, I'm not going to bore you to death.
Oh, no problem. I mean, I'm for it. Let me see.
Let's see, you're on Eastern time, so that would be California time would be 3 hours earlier.
Yep.
8 o'clock for us, which is like in 15 minutes. It'll be 8 o'clock now.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully, it all depends upon how the flow of the show is going. I mean, if sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so we'll see. But thank you. Let me go on to Stuart Morrison. Hey, Stuart, how's it going? Is he still here? There he is. And hi, Gordon. And hi, Sparky. And hi, Lynn.
How you doing?
Oh, good. What's up, Lynn? What's up, Stuart? What's going on with you, Stuart?
No, not too much. We went out flying though today. It was really it was nice. It was hot. Got hot. We went out early though. We were there like around 7. And then flew in, and it got a little warm, but it's still nice. There's a lot of wind. So I got a couple good patterns in too, so that was good.
Learn at Brodax. I imagine you being this your first intermediate contest, and it's you had a pretty good pack of participants, right?
Sorry, what was that? I didn't quite catch it.
What did you learn from Brodax? You must have picked up some good information at Brodax.
Well, I didn't have a lot of time to talk to people in some ways, but it was just good experience. It was I enjoyed it, and I did get to talk to a lot of people, different people from Stunthangar and everything on that. So it was good that way. I enjoyed it. So it was all right.
What planes did you went out and flew this morning? What planes?
The Pathfinder. So it's flying pretty good now. We had to do an adjustment on the trim tab, but it's flying better.
Good. All right, thank you. Let me get to Lynn Burrell. Hey, Lynn, how's it going, Lynn?
Keeping out of trouble most of the time.
All right, good.
Working on buffing the new airplane. It's coming out okay, but it's definitely not a sparky or windy finish, I'm afraid.
Well, you'll make up for it in flying.
We hope.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I still have a lot to learn. I've been doing finishes for a lot of years, and I feel like I've sort of reached a plateau where I just don't put enough time into it. Like I just don't commit enough time to get it that good. I just don't. I don't do it. I want to do it, but I don't do it. And however, what are you going to do, right? You do you once you've done it, you've done it. You get to a certain point, and it's like, oh crap, I screwed it up again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got thrown into the team,
Well, this is true too. I mean, but even still, I don't know. I really do struggle with the finishing thing. I get it looking there, or at least I think it's looking pretty good now. Of course, my eyes aren't what they used to be, but I think it looks pretty good. And then I go and I get to a certain part and I look at it and go, oh no, it's no good. And that's what happened today. It sort of went where I got to that point and I looked at it and went, it's no good. And it's too bad, but that's just the way it goes. At least I'm honest about it.
All righty. Let me see here. It's Sparky. Hey, Sparky, how you doing, Sparky?
Pretty good. This is Brandon. This is your leading, trailing edge, and spar.
Oh, that's all you can salvage out of it.
Well, yeah, that's it. And I use the rest as patterns. The nose moment's an inch longer, and the tail moment's an inch longer, and it's got metal landing, aluminum landing gear that I bolt onto it, 2 wheels, and a tail wheel. I'm going to put this carbon fiber tank on it right here.
Okay.
And Mark gave me 2 Johnsons. I'm going to put the Stunt Supreme on this. So
It'll be nose heavy.
What's that, Gordon?
I say with the Johnson Stunt Supreme, it'll be nose heavy. I'd put your small case one on there.
Would you? Well,
I would.
Let me ask you this. This here backplate doesn't have a fitting in it, but the Stunt Supreme does. Can I swap the backplate for the pressure?
Yes. Yep.
All right. And I got a tail wheel on there. I could always wrap solder on it.
In the old days, I used to stretch the tail moment 3 inches.
Yeah.
And watching your video today, it got me inspired. So I went down and pulled one. It's almost 40 years old. Can I show it to you?
Please. Yeah.
It's a flight streak.
Yeah, I didn't think about, I figured I'd stretch the nose an inch so that I could get a tank in there. This is almost 4 ounces. Okay, let's see what you got.
Oh, very nice.
I always cut the top of the rudder off because that point when it flips over when your landing gear's there, it breaks the rudder. So I cut the top off. So when it flips over, it just hits flat.
You got a little more elevator there too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
So what is the tail moment there? It doesn't look much longer than mine.
No, this is a stock one.
Okay.
A girl I was dating built this. I kind of helped her on it. And when she left, she didn't take the airplane. So it's been in my basement almost 40 years now. And I put it on the scales.
with the tank and the engine on it. It weighs 21.8 ounces.
Uh-huh.
It's probably the lightest kit wood I've ever used on my flight streaks.
It looks like you have 332nd ribs too. Is that right?
No, these are stock ribs.
16th?
Yep, they're 16th.
Yeah,
And then on the wing tip, you know,
yeah.
I always put, I'm hung up on something here. I put this little 1/8 trim around the edges,
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too.
you know, so you can round them off a little bit and makes them so when you pull your covering on there, it doesn't warp them.
Yeah, I thought about doing that too. I mentioned that today in the video. I also put a block on the leading edge of the tip there.
Yeah, I thought about doing the same here because that's a real tough corner.
Right.
So anyway, this is set up for an OS Stunt 35. And like you can see, I can only get a 2.5 ounce tank in it. But I've replumbed it so the pickups comes out on the side here.
Right.
And so instead of behind the tank, I wouldn't be able to get in there. But the ones I flew in slow combat, I ended up adding one more rib bay to each wing and put a bladder. No, it was an inboard tank sway. And then I stretched the tail moment out to 3 inches. So it made it a 46-inch wing. And they flew really good for slow combat. So,
well, I'll probably end up giving this away to somebody.
Well, I thought I'd drive back there and you give it to me. You're doing such a nice job.
I put the cheek towel on it and I glassed it tonight before the stream.
Uh-oh.
I got fiberglass on it, but I thought I'd show Brendan what I bought from him: the leading edge, the trailing edge, and the spar.
Very good. It's really nice, Sparky. It's really nice.
Rest of it's going to go in the trash.
Looks very nice.
Thank you.
Hey, Gordon, what does the other guy look like?
Yes, I was wondering too.
I don't think you heard me.
Very good. Thank you, Sparky. Let me see. We got Gordon. Is he still on the phone? Hey, Gordon, you're up next. You got to unmute yourself, Gordon. I got you muted because it's interfering with Sparky.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, watching the Sparky today, I got enthused and blew all the dust off this and mounted the motor, make sure everything fits, and dug out this old gas tank I built years and years ago for a flight streak. And I do add a 1/4 inch more to the elevator than the stock one.
All right.
You know, I didn't know any better, and I thought it needed it. So, and after I did the first one, I found it flew better than the stock one that I had. So,
do I need to make a new elevator?
Well, if you're not nose heavy, you won't have to.
Well, it'll be.
You know, a Johnson's heavier than this OS 35S. Plus, you lengthen the nose.
I did lengthen the nose 1 inch and lengthen the tail 1 inch.
Yeah, you should have gone a couple inches.
Yeah, well, I didn't know.
But, you know, yours looks great, you know. So, and you've already got your hinges glued in, don't you?
No, they're just stuck in there.
Well, if they're not glued in, I'd build you a new elevator.
1/4 inch wider, huh?
Yeah. No, you got your dope out. Oh, there's another thing I was going to tell you. You know, you're talking about glass in the nose.
I did already.
Yeah. Well, on stuff, if you're worried about weight, I silk mine. You know, I use dope and silk it because silk you can pull around the corners and everything. And I learned that from my combat days. And instead of using the glass, I use silk.
Well, you saw
You know,
you saw that I Z-epoxied the whole thing, so that will move a little weight back. I don't know what this thing's going to weigh because I'm telling you, the leading and trailing edges are really heavy. They're like baseball bat wood.
yeah, but you used a lot of lightweight stuff too.
Yeah, I did.
So
Is this,
I saw you build a new fuselage.
Yes,
So,
Keith. Go ahead, Keith. I think Keith said goodbye. Okay. That's so much for that. So, Gordon,
who's that?
why are you wearing the eye patch, Gordon?
Well, remember I told you I went to the hospital Monday,
Yeah.
and you know my neck hurt and my vision went blurry,
Right.
and I thought maybe I was having a blood vessel pop in my brain or something.
Right.
And they told me to go to my eye doctor, so I went to him. And the muscle that comes over the top of your eye is somehow got strained, and so now, like if you draw a straight line, I see two lines.
All right.
You know, and with the patch, it really screws your depth perception up. And then my wife went to St. George today, and I was carrying out this real heavy bowl of potato salad and something else, and I thought I was down on the garage floor. Anyway, I missed a step and fell.
Oh no.
And when I went out later, you know, I landed on the hood of her car, you know, with my elbow.
Uh-huh.
And oh, that looks like a dent. And I put a dent in her Monte Carlo.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He's living on borrowed time.
Yeah.
So your wife punched you in the eye for putting a dent in the car?
Yeah, put a dent in the hood. You know where my elbow hit?
Right. So your wife hit you in the eye for doing that?
Well, I thought maybe I could just push it back out. So I popped the hood on it. And it's got a double layer right there where the dent is, so I can't get to it. So I'll have to try to pull it out with a plunger.
All right. Good luck with that.
Use a hairdryer.
What's a hairdryer going to do, Sparky?
It warms the metal up and relaxes it, and it'll pop out. If it's not a big dent.
I'll try that. What about our heat gun?
What's that?
What about our monocoque guns? Is that too hot?
It's probably too hot. You don't want to burn the paint. You just want to relax the metal a little bit. And how deep is the dent?
Oh, about 4 inches in diameter.
And how deep, though?
Oh, I'm saying 1/4 of an inch.
Is there any creases in it?
No, no creases whatsoever.
Yeah, I would take the hairdryer, heat it up real good till it's pretty warm, and then cold water, and it'll pop.
I'll try that. She doesn't know that it put a dent in it.
Oh boy!
You know, she tried to catch me, but by then I'd already hit the car. But I didn't spill the potato salad.
Oh, good.
That's good.
Keep the food at all cost.
Yes.
That's her
Gordon,
yellow
like Sparky
Carlo.
was saying, heat it up. But if you have to, get a little bit of pressure on it, just take your hot glue gun and tab something down onto it with a stick or whatever and pull on that while you heat it. And that might help too.
Yep, that'll help too.
Now say that again, Bob.
Take a hot glue gun. You probably have one. It's useless for building models with, but useful for other things. And put a blob of that on with a stick on it of some sort, and let that cool. And then when like Sparky said, warm it up around it with the hairdryer. Not enough to melt the hot glue, but just keep pulling on the rod while you apply the heat, and that might help pop it out also.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's how dentless paint guys do it. And I also have a tool in the garage that it's a snap-on tool. It's got a long handle on it, and it's got a turn on it. It's kind of, I don't know, it's rounded really, really well on it. And you candle it. You look down the side. You put a light on that side, and you look down the side, and you take that tool and you just rub on it and push it up, and that's how paintless dent guys do it.
Yeah, and to get the
I-
hot glue off, don't use heat on it because that might bugger up the metal some more. Just use alcohol or something like that, and
That's the lighter
that usually dissolves it pretty quick.
Snap the lighter fluid.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Very good.
Okay,
All right.
guys, I appreciate the help.
You're welcome.
Stunthangar Auto Body Tech Department.
Yeah.
Yeah, building model airplanes is transferable to a lot of other things, no doubt about that. So, Bob Whitley, what you been up to, Bob? Thanks for coming.
I had a really busy day, and it was all model airplane stuff. Well, pretty much.
Oh, cool.
I had the usual Friday breakfast with all my old buddies. Then Paul Jabot and I went around town to all of our sponsors and gave those really fancy CNC carved plaques of appreciation to them that Ken Bird had made, and did the photo op stuff. And Len, you're going to want to throw up, but I'll send all the photos into Mac Mag, like last year, and just distributed the begging letters for prizes for this year's contest and stuff. And I went off and visited my nephew and his wife, and generally had a really darn good day, all centered mostly around model airplanes or full size. And tomorrow morning, it's supposed to be really calm, tomorrow and Sunday. And I'm going to go out to the model field and go do some U-control flying and punch some round holes in the sky.
Awesome.
And then in the afternoon, I'll go flying the bigger ones.
Awesome. Very good news. That's great. Let me see here. Let me catch up in the chat box. I have a comment from Jeff Riley regarding that plane. He says, kind of does resemble that more than anything else. Maybe it was put together by picking parts from a crashed plane. And then Marcel Legrand says, hi, Charles, and everyone at Stunt School. I am just at a combat competition like provided. Thank you very much, Marcel. And Bob Hudak says, Super Ringmaster is in the house. All right. And then Joe Thompson says, left a like. Thank you very much, Joe. Appreciate that. He goes, Sparky's streak is looking nice. I agree. It looks really nice. Then Bob Hudak says, sorry, Spark Master, super flight streak. Anyways, we're all caught up in the chat box.
Hey, so I got a comment for Sparky. I'm really annoyed with you, Sparky, because you're teasing me about opening a bought my Brodak kit and putting together that flight streak. And I got too many darn airplanes on the go as it is right now.
You do what now?
You're teasing me about opening up my Brodak box and putting together that flight streak to go with all the other ones I have. And I was thinking about stretching it out anyway, just like I did on the nose of my last one, and fit a real tank on. But I've got too damn many other projects on the go right now on the model workbenches to do. So you're just bugging the heck out of me to get another flight streak going. Curse you.
Well, the only reason why I did it is because Mark Gerber gave me the Johnsons. And I wanted to run the Johnson because it reminded me of my childhood. So in order to do that, you needed a period correct airplane. So Brennan was there with the flight streak. It was relatively priced. I didn't realize it was Rockwood, but I go, okay, good. So we got, I picked up the flight streak, and I knew I could build this in a week. So that's what I did.
My old 1974 one that is rebirthed again for the third time. So I might do the third maiden flight on it tomorrow, but it's had so many engines over the years and, redos, but it's ranged from a Fox 35 to a 36X to a Super Tagger C35 to a Super Tagger 46 to a FP 35, and now I've got a LA 25 on it. Or no, sorry, I got an FP 20 on it right now.
Well, I'll get this one done, and I know that I'll end up giving it, or somebody else will end up with it, not me, but somebody else can enjoy what I did, in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, they sure beat the hell out of a ringmaster, don't they?
I think so.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I agree. I was more of a Fly Street guy than a Ringmaster guy.
Like I said
Hey,
last
we,
week, or posted, I've got a whole swack of them from the half a baby through to I guess two flyable full size ones plus
Wait a
one
minute. You
still in
got
the
it
box.
over there, and I've got it.
Hey, I think we got an answer on the mystery plane here.
Really? What's that?
So going back to the picture you all showed earlier from Brodax, the plane
Good catch, Angstrom.
You might recognize this wing.
Yeah.
That's Tim's
I got
wing.
one just like that.
Yeah, well, it ends up that Angstrom went a little dumpster diving after the one plane hit the ground, and the guy pulled out all the rods and stuff in it and just left the body. So he pulled the plane out, but
That's
when
Tim
you put it
Tipton's wing.
together, it's a smoothie wing.
Yep.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, someone suggested that as well. This might be a Bass kit using the smoothie ring. Very nice.
So what does that tell me? Like, if the tail's not usually made like that, though, what's the possibility? I mean, is a smoothie a classic? Do you have to have the frame? What are the rules on classic?
Forget it. It doesn't
All right.
qualify.
I think his smoothie, you can fly a smoothie in classic, but they didn't make a smoothie with a profile.
Okay. All right. That answers it.
All right. Let me
Or
go.
you could certainly fly it in profile.
Yeah.
Yes.
A profile, yeah. So let me say hi to Howard Rush. Hey, Howard, how you doing? Thanks for coming in.
Okay.
What you been up
Okay, I got
to?
it.
We had some company last time I spoke to you.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for a contest tomorrow.
The name of the contest is?
Stunathon.
Say it again? Stunathon. Okay.
The finest trophies you've ever seen at a model airplane contest.
Wow. Can you tease it? Show us one of them?
They have the same trophies, same sort of trophies at Las Vegas.
Okay. Well, good.
Hey, Howard, while you're on there, I got a question. Did you get those sliders I sent you?
Yeah, I sent you a note.
Are they? I was afraid they might be too loose, so I made some new ones, and I was going to send the new ones to you.
These are fine.
They're not too loose?
No.
Oh, okay. I think there's one there that was a little smaller on the end of that bar. One end was a little wider than the other end.
Oh, I put it on the one of the control horns and it fit.
Yeah, and you just cut them off in the between the holes.
Yep.
Okay, then I won't send you 4 more then.
No, don't need it. Thank you.
All right.
So Howard, did Chris and Joan were they able to drop off that wood to you?
Yeah. You only have 16ths, so you don't have the wood for the tails or the center ribs. But I got some. I took National Balsa up on their bundle offer, and some of their 1/8 inch you can substitute for the 3/16 it calls for in the nose.
Oh, great. Yeah. You had mentioned about the tail and stuff. I'm not too worried about that. I got 2 complete tails to put on anyway.
There we go.
wood averaged more than 10 pounds per cubic foot.
Okay, did that work for you? Because you mentioned on the 16th you wanted a bit harder.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Okay.
I've had some misadventures with the laser. I set it on fire, burned some stuff up. And replaced the lenses or the lens and the mirrors, but it's back up.
Yeah, no panic on any of that stuff. It's maybe a next winter project anyway. So
okay.
Howard, don't forget to bring that tow with you to the Nats.
I'll bring all 10.
Pardon me? All 10. No, the tow you told me about.
Oh, the carbon yarn stuff. Okay.
Right.
yeah, if you're going to the Nats, then Howard, maybe just give whatever you got, or not a panic on it anyway. But Paul Jabot is going to be at the Nats and the Worlds anyway.
Okay.
All righty. Let me.
Canadian speed team or anything.
Yeah, he's going to be in the speed stuff, of course, and then he's some sort of a event manager or something like that at the Worlds.
Okay, groovy. What happened? I just got here.
Can you repeat that again, Howard?
What happened to Gordy's eye? I just got here. He's probably told the story.
His wife beat him up.
Yeah, he put a dent in his wife's car, and then she just whacked him for doing that.
Well, actually, Howard, one of the muscles on my eye got stretched or something. Anyway, I see double. So I've got this on here so I don't get dizzy and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So he says it can take 3 to 4 weeks, or take 3 months, or maybe never. So
you look really tough, anyways, Gordon.
What's that?
You look really tough.
Yeah, make sure.
Oh yeah.
You look tough, man. You look like don't screw with me. You should see the other guy.
I hope
with Gordon's depth perception buggered up, maybe that gives somebody else a chance of beating him in a contest for once.
You don't need depth perception.
I'm afraid old age took that over, Bob.
He looks like Snake Driscoll.
What was that, Sparky?
He looks like Snake Driscoll.
Snake Driscoll, okay.
You're from L.A. Escaping L.A. That was Kurt Russell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
I hope this doesn't go on very long.
Yeah, I hope it heals. Maybe just give his eye a chance to heal. Give his eye a break, a reprieve. Hope that muscle will recuperate.
Yeah, it really screws up my depth perception.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Yeah, be careful with using power tools and stuff.
Well, I need to do some lathe work, but I can't do it with this eye the way it is.
Yeah. Maybe get Brent to help you. I saw Brent did some really nice work. He sent me some pictures when he's in your shop while he was resting. Yeah,
he was been coming over here a couple times and making those horns and sliders.
Yeah, I saw them. It came out really nice.
I thought about having a truck come over and remachine a head on I have an OS 36 or 35 I built. It's got a Super Tiger 46 rod and piston liner in it, and a aftermarket head that I didn't know how big to make the chamber. It feels more like a combat plane instead of a stunt motor.
Hey, Philip.
Whoops.
I hear the background noise, Philip. I'm sorry, Philip.
No.
Let me see here. I have a comment in the chat box. Bob Hudek, he did suggest that it was a smoothie wing. So our winter chicken dinner is Bob Hudak, he guessed it right. It's a arc wing or from a smoothie, and you're right. So round of applause for
Nice
Bob.
job.
Thank you very much.
Ask him how his props doing I made for him.
And so how's the prop doing that Sparky made for you, Bob?
Hey, Len,
Yeah.
you going in the morning, Lion? I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, but probably not at 7, maybe at 8:30 or so.
Okay, that's fine.
All
Then
right.
I'll see you there probably. Okay.
Okay.
You better go to the Stunathon.
Oh, we got our own contest here tomorrow there's a combat contest here.
Oh, cool.
Good.
So
I gotta
Stuart,
help run. I gotta help
good
run
night
that.
then. And you know, our next Pampa president, you know, we gotta give
Bye.
you all due respect.
Now you scared him away, Bob. Why'd you do that?
You see, Joe
Come
Gilbert.
on, Stuart. You know it. You know that job's just looming in your future, brother. Come on.
Go on, Phil.
So Phil, what's been going on with you, Phil?
Just hanging in here, trying to get everything done. It's been too dang hot for me to get out.
Okay.
I mean, it's been hot. The
That's
guys,
right here.
a couple of the guys and I planned to go out the other day, and we got up, and at 8 o'clock it was already almost 80 degrees. And I said, nah, I don't think so. It's just so muggy. It's too hot for me.
Yeah.
It's like we went from winter through a very short spring, a very short wet spring, into full summer, and I mean it's just been hot ever since.
That's what I hear. Right here. So Bob,
We're going into our second good weekend of all year so far.
Good.
I mean, we've only had one weekend where anyone was able to fly control line. That was during our reunion. And tomorrow and Sunday are supposed to be spectacular.
Well, ours is supposed to be a mess, so I'm going to a photographic symposium in Charlotte. Go down and learn what the new equipment looks like.
All right.
Iffy.
Hey guys, let me share something with you guys. I actually came across this and I was using this and I got, you know what, maybe people might appreciate this. So I got this thing here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it has like a Delrin end on it. And these threads are for a glow plug. So it screws into the head of an engine. You know, those circumstances when you're trying to tighten up the spinner or tighten the prop, and as you're tightening the crank is turning, and
Yeah,
you're almost tempted to put a pair of pliers around the thrust washer to stop it from turning so you can tighten your bolt, right? Where you take your glow plug out, and I have two of these. One is in my home shop and one is in my flight box. So I
where did you get it, Charles?
At my hobby store, my local hobby shop. I think the car guys use it, but the Delrin there at the end will protect the top of your piston. So you screw this in, and then you turn the your prop, and then it stops because this is hitting the piston's hitting that. And then
I'm going to look at the hobby shop tomorrow.
You can tighten your spinner or tighten your prop, and it's man, I love this thing because there are some circumstances when you just can't get. You have a hard time getting that prop or spinner off or tighten it. I'm not sure which way it is, but I've had issues, and this has always been the saving grace. It has a knurled end, so you can grab it and tighten it by hand, and it just needs to go inside and just stop. It doesn't need to be wrenched on, but the piston will come up and stop there, and then you can take off your nut or tighten your nut or whatever the issue is.
It
That
looks
sure
like
beats taking a muffler off and putting a popsicle stick in.
Right.
I used to do that.
Yeah, but
It
sometimes
like
the
it-
popsicle stick breaks. I mean, you know, you need something tougher than the popsicle stick, but then you'll scratch your liner. This
it
is a
looks
great
like
great
it can go
solution.
far.
What was that, Howard?
That is cool.
It can go in very far.
No, it doesn't go. I mean, it goes in far enough that when the piston comes up, it'll stop the piston, which stops your crank from turning.
if it doesn't go in very far, it only hits the piston when it's nearing the top of its stroke. There's going to be a lot of force on the rod, and you could hurt something.
Yeah.
So you should have one that that intercepts the piston when it's halfway up.
Okay. Well, the car guys use this all the time, and I imagine they. I don't know. That's where it came from.
It's a good idea.
I've, to my knowledge, I've never hurt any of my engines. I've used this probably 3 or 4 times. It comes different colors. This happens to be gold, but I've seen red and green. And
Well, I guess when you get a certain amount of friction on your prop nut, it's not going to spin or anything anymore. So you shouldn't be putting a huge amount of torque on that, Charles.
Yeah, I've never had an issue except for, just the inconvenience of having to go grab it.
Yeah, well, keep us informed.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've never had an issue that I'm aware of.
That's a little stress analysis there from the Jet Combat team.
All right, thank you very much.
Well, once you get past that initial, spinning tendency of the backplate or whatever, the thrust washer, once you get a bit of torque on the nut, it seems to always, hold itself and let you continue the torque without any undue stress.
Bring out the impact.
Yeah, that'll work. And you can get some battery operated impacts, so you can use them at the field, right?
I got one.
I got a battery operated impact. I got 2 of them.
Pair of channel locks.
Oh.
Yeah, but I hate those when people booger up their engine.
I just put an 18-volt Milwaukee half-inch drive impact on it. That'll do it.
So, Sparky, I have an answer for you, Sparky, regarding the prop.
Yeah.
I flew it at my home field, and it wasn't as stellar as the original 11x6 EW rev up. Unobtainable prop, of course. Back-to-back flights. Maybe altitude difference. Ohio is 300 feet lower than Carmichael's.
Yeah, it might be.
And then Jeff Riley says, just put the pliers on the broken prop hub, then put a new prop on it. Well, usually when I have the situation, it's not a broken prop. It's a nice prop that I have that I can't get it off for some reason because the prop keeps turning. So anyways, this is a solution I thought maybe people might appreciate. There's a lot of things that that a lot of us think everybody knows. Everybody knows that, but you'd be surprised how many don't. And we have a lot of viewers that are new and they're trying to learn to understand everything. And some things just go right over their head because they're not familiar with some of the things we're talking about. And sometimes they don't even know a solution. So let's not forget the people who are just getting started.
Yeah, that looks like poorly executed.
Which one? It's poorly executed. Which one's that?
That thing screws into the top.
Oh, well, I mean, I've used it and I haven't had any issues. So,
well, all right.
Yeah.
Now, Charles, you're saying you're having troubles getting an 1160W, or what's the scoop on that?
I guess, Sparky, you gave Bob Hudak a prop, right?
What happened was he was having a hard time, getting a good prop for Brodax. So I took a 12.6 and I cut it to 11 1/4, and I put under camber in it and Phillips entry, and it worked for him good there. And I just was wondering how it worked at his house.
I think Charles just went away.
Oh, okay.
Lightning.
No,
was he saying something about 1160W?
Yeah, you can't get them. They're hard to find.
Well, not necessarily. Charles, you were saying about you needed an 1160W, or what's up?
No, Bob Hudak was at Brodax, and he needed a better prop. And so Sparky took a 12.6 prop, cut it down, and gave it some undercamber and gave it to him, and it worked there in Carmichael's. But when he went home, it's not as stellar.
Okay, I was just gonna mention that if you were desperate, I think I still have 9 or 10 11.6 EW rev ups.
I'll take one.
I'll take one.
Hold on there. I only have so many.
I'll take one. Actually, I'd like to have 2 of everything, so I'll take 2.
Yeah. Clean me right out.
Let me see here. Jeff,
Where'd Gordy go?
Just put pliers on the broken. Okay, read that letter.
Gordon.
He's right there with the eye patch
Well, he
on.
disappeared off my screen. I don't know why. Oh, Mark showed up. He said popped him off, pushed him off.
So
Okay.
we got so many.
Tell you what, Sparky, I'll trade you 11.6 EW for a 13-inch rev up.
I got a 13-inch rev up. Bob?
Give me Gordon.
I've got a 13-inch.
I got a 13-inch.
There we go. We're in a bidding war here for a change. No,
I'm staying the heck out of this. There's too
that.
many in this.
Because I wouldn't mind getting one or two the 13 inchers for my Super Tiger Brian Gardner 60s.
How about if I send you a 13-inch, Bob, and you send?
Let's start the bidding at $10.
Actually, Gordon, if you want to do that, yeah, I'm game. No problem. Trade you a 1-for-1. No big deal.
Let me go down. I thought I saw it today when I was looking through some props. I'll get together with you on Monday. And
sounds good. Yeah. All we'd be out is
that'll work,
outrageous postage on each end.
Yeah, I'll send you the prop, and we can send Sparky hit your prop.
Okay, we'll figure it all out. Let's do that
Bob
Monday.
Jack in the chat box says he needs a 11.6 EW rev up.
I think apparently everyone does. Maybe I should start selling them. What are they? $50 a pop?
$50 a pop.
Yeah, they are.
Well, they are unobtainium guys.
They are unobtainium.
Yeah, I got to keep some in reserve for my 46s and my 51.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm flying a 12.6 on the 51. But I have a suggestion. Sparky, how about one night you do a class on showing us how to, I mean, I know how to do it, but show us a class on adding Phillips entry and undercambering a prop, because there are places we go that an undercamber prop is magic.
It don't take much. I mean, it took me about 10 minutes to make him a prop.
Well,
maybe it'll be short. Maybe
it takes me about an hour. So show us how to do that one night.
All right.
I can do the Phillips entry in a few seconds, but the undercambering, now that's break a piece of glass and find one that's shaped just right and start scraping.
No,
that's the way I was shown to do it.
I use my thumb.
What do you do? A piece of sandpaper in your thumb?
80 grit. Yep. Takes about
80 grit. I'll try that.
How about the class in how to make your own props?
Yeah, well, I can do that too. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, those 12.6 rev ups, I think I have 30 of them.
Yeah, you can make your own rev ups after that. Well, you need just a pattern.
You just need one to do that if you're going to make them out of carbon.
There's a problem, and I'll tell you what that is. I have one of those carbon 13.6 rev ups. The problem is that I need to thin it out some more. The magic is gone. When you take the wood away, the carbon prop doesn't act the same as the wood prop. And I think it's the wood. It's the flex of the prop, so I need to thin it out. But I am working on making some of those 13.6 rev ups in carbon.
Yeah, that's what Senko says.
Maybe the pitch and geometry is off then.
Wood ones were.
Too. That's interesting. Make it the same size but more rigid, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work as good. I need to thin it out. It's too thick. when you watch a rev up prop fly and you turn it, you can see it bend. And a carbon prop is stiff. It's like, let me see.
Well, see, I've always thought that was what was so much better about the carbon prop.
Yeah, it is for a pipe engine.
Maybe it works a little bit like a constant speed prop on a full size airplane. You know, if it twists a little bit under load and changes the pitch.
It could be. I know that they change. I know that they do things when you put them under load, especially in a hard turn. Because I mean, if you listen to about any prop on an electric engine where you can really hear it, you come up and hit a hard pull out or a hard upturn, and you hear it.
Look at the under camber on this propeller.
Yeah, you can see it on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just huge. Then this propeller is one that I made that's flatter. Let me look and see if I can find the carbon rev up, but it's too thick. So what I need to do on the carbon rev up is I need to thin it out more here, because this is super rigid, but it's more flexible because it's thinner here than the rev up that I got. This one here is real stiff too. It's like, this is unreal. But I'm working on it. I'm working on getting a rev up carbon prop that works.
Well, you get a carbon fiber that works like a good rev up. That'll work on a Tiger 60 or Tiger 51. I'd like to have a couple of them myself. Oh, that's pretty.
Go ahead and put this on your airplane.
I don't think it'll spin it. I've got a motor that'll spin that, but I don't fly it.
Well, Troy, you made molds for Wendy's props, didn't you?
Sparky, what size is that?
Looks like about a 16.6.
Yeah, it's bigger than that. I think it's a 20.
Oh, okay. Too big.
I still got a motor that'll spin it, but I don't fly it.
He uses that in a Cox 049 DD.
It's a 26.
Oh, wow.
26?
Yeah.
26.
I don't know if I have a motor that big. That'd be a 150 or something.
Oh, no. A 26 pitch.
Oh,
no, 26 length.
Oh, wow. That's wild. I didn't realize it was
That'll
that
need a
big.
150 at least.
Holy crap.
That's too big for me.
Put it on an ultralight full-size plane.
Yeah. Huh?
You know, you
Put that
could.
on your price break.
I'll get the yardstick out.
Put it on your price break.
You know, you literally could, because I forgot the name of that little motor. That's what it uses, a 26-inch prop.
It's as big as the wing.
Look at that.
Oh my God.
That's a fence post.
Huh?
Yeah, 26 inches across.
Wow.
Good
The old
Lord,
Laser
Sparky.
ultralights, they used something similar. They'd take two of them.
That's what I was talking
stack
about,
them
the
on
lasers.
X and use them. Yeah, the Laser ultralight twin engine.
We used to fly that, and then my brother was involved in the Phantom, the development of the Phantom. He did the drafting for the Phantom. And once I flew a Phantom one time, forget the laser. I sold that thing. That was junk compared to a Phantom.
Yeah, but I think they had a prop just about that size, but they'd stack two of them on it with across each other like an X.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
guys
I remember
like
those.
to see me mold a rev up, make a mold for it, I will do it. Because Doran said you'd like to see how to make the mold, but I'm going to take a new prop and thin it out before I make another mold.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Well, they got a bunch of guys around here that still fly those things. And these idiots will reach up, forget to pull in the cords. They'll reach up and grab the propeller. Remember, it's 2 carbon fiber props.
Yeah.
And they reach up and grab that prop and spin it. I'm saying, you guys are out of your minds.
Actually, the very original ones were just wood.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that too. But around they've got
that dates back to
now.
what, 77, 78, something like that when that
Something
came
like
out.
that. I don't know. Well, I was still driving when my brother was drafting the Phantom. I was still driving a Chevy Vega station wagon, so it had to be before '79. So
I actually had one at one time, and 1.5 airframes, and they needed a bunch of rebuild and stuff, so I just passed it along to a friend, and then he died. So I don't know whatever became of them.
we got into it when they decided that they didn't want to use the fiberglass canopy, not canopy, but the nose piece on the Phantom. They wanted to do it in carbon and see how well we could mold it. And I wanted to learn. I was learning about molding, and I knew just enough people that I was able to go up there and learn how to mold it, and molded some with them. But they had a positive and a negative mold. One went inside the other. And we molded about 24 of those things and sold every darn one of them as fast as we could make them.
I don't know if you guys had it down in the States, but up here there was quite a few guys built a float plane version of the Laser.
Yeah, I've seen them. I have not. I've never seen one fly, but I have seen pictures of them. Yeah, that thing was that was an interesting airplane with an inverted V and inverted V tail and everything.
And the tail served as the the tail skid, the landing gear.
Landing gear,
so.
yeah. Yeah, I always worried about that because the field we landed on had rocks in it, like that. And I thought, all you gotta do is hit one of those and you're gonna screw everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were just like a combat plane, covered with Mylar.
Yeah.
Sparky, I have some advice for you if you want to take it. When it comes to propellers and flexing the propellers.
Yeah.
If you want to have if you already have the mold for the propeller but it's too stiff, just take some material out of it. Putting less material in it, that's the beautiful part of the mold. You can put anything inside of it. So if you wonder about how to fill in the space in there that's going to be when you take the material out, just put some a mixture of micro balloons and epoxy. So they have a filler effect, right? And you have the top and lower skin of the prop, and what's in between. You can play with it until you get the flex that you are shooting for, and then you have a layout for the prop.
You are the prop man that I need to ask this question. Now, when we were at Brodex, Tim Stagg had this material that's a flooring stuff. I got a picture of it here. Anyway, I thought about, I could take that flooring styrofoam and put it in a propeller. Can you do that? One layer of toe on one side, then put this real thin foam board in it, then another layer of toe on the other side, and close the mold so you'd have this pergo.
Yes, you're gonna have it's called a solid core molding. So what you do, it all depends on what kind of material that is. You don't want something that's it's almost something like the stuff that you put in a flower. We have those flower things that you put the different the fruit flowers, and they come with this piece of foam that's just squishable. If you put your thumb through it, it's going to maintain its shape, right? Yeah. So it has to be collapsible but maintain its shape after it collapses. You don't want something that's going to bounce back like closed cell foam. But I think that's just a bad practice because that foam is not structurally good for what you need. So ideally, when you do something like this, you use some closed cell foam and you cut it exactly to the finished size, very precisely. So when you lay it in a mold, you have just the upper skin and lower skin of the carbon with a closed cell foam in the center. But that's not really practical. The most practical way to do this is just use micro balloons and epoxy, and you just put and you just do the top layer and bottom layer in a mold, and you get the epoxy and you mix it up with micro balloons until it's very very thick, a very very thick paste, and then you can put it inside the mold, whatever you want to use. I'm using this actually. I make out of plastic.
Well, Danny told me to get some.
So these are made out of plastic, right? And what I do, I use one of those. I use this to make them, right? And what I do, I just open them up like this. I'm pouring the material inside, and then you take the back side and like you ice a cake, right? So now you go like this in a mold, and you just pour the stuff in a mold. And when you close it, all the excess is gonna ooze out, right? And you don't give a rat's ass about that, right?
How about DTO81 from Freeman Supply?
I don't know what the thing is, but I tell you, use micro balloons and epoxy with this, put it in between the blades, and you're done. It's the best way to do it. Is it's lightweight. It's holds its shape. It's not gonna flex or squeeze on you in time, and it's consistent in its strength. And the blade is gonna be balanced right out of the mold, because
Sounds
this,
like a winner.
if you mix it on one time, you're gonna have the same consistency. So if you go from one end to the other one, you're gonna be fine.
Here, I thought you did a whole bunch of work to get those props so nice, and you figured out a way to mold it where it comes out of the mold already balanced. Son of a gun. I liked your props.
My props?
Yeah, I liked your props. I ran them when I could get them.
Yeah, there's just what I did back then, Phil. I had my prop was going like that. I had the toe going through a bath of resin coming out, and I had like a squeegee kind of thing, right? So it was going through the bath of resin would come out. Here I had like a double pin that would press down on the toe and squeegee out the excess, as well as flatten my toe a little bit. So I would just pull it out to the end, and I would measure it and cut it to the sides. So I had the same amount, kind of the same amount of resin on each blade. And when I laid out, it was like I had like marks on my mold, like 12 inches, 11 inches, 10 inches, 9 inches, and so on and so forth, all the way down to 8 inches, right? So I go 12 to 12, right? 11 to 11, 10 to 10, and so on and so forth. So my toes are getting smaller and smaller, and then I just, when I close the mold, everything it's aligned, kind of centered. So odds are that you're gonna have a very nicely a halfway decent balanced prop, anyways. From the
balanced, because you got the same amount of stuff on both sides. Very neat idea, Trey.
Yeah,
so what you were basically doing was a wet prepreg.
I
kind of
got
like, yeah.
here too. Did your mold look like this, Doran? 2 halves, male, female?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that will work just perfect for what you have. Yeah. So in that mold, what would you do? You cut the material perfectly to the size. Whatever you put in the mold, are you using toe unidirectional or what?
I'm using toe. I got some pre-preg over here, but I'm using toe for propellers.
Okay, yeah. See, in your mold, you have to figure out what's the toe recipe for your prop, because, or you can use a unidirectional, and that looks like this, Sparky. Here's an example. This is unidirectional. It comes like this in a cloth, right? You can put back it up some fiberglass or something like that. That's gonna give it a little bit of strength so it doesn't split up, right? And you make templates of this, of your propeller, and you just cut it with the X-Acto knife, whatever you want to do, like 2-3 layers of this on one side, 2-3 layers on the other side, and you wet it out, you put it in a mold, and once it's in a mold, you can even make it lighter. You can blot it out, right? Put some paper towels and put some pressure on top of it and suck all the excess resin, right? And then, so now you have the top layer and the lower layer of your blade, right? And then you mix your micro balloons and epoxy. Put it in your, put it in your bag and smoosh it over there inside the mold.
What
maybe
resin
around
were
the
you
hub
using?
where you want to
I
put some hard.
understand that. I understand that. What resin were you using?
I use MGS for everything.
I'm using what the hell is that?
Epon 862.
No, that's for the tanks. I'm using
Oh, okay.
HPR 50 for propellers. 250 degree cure. thing, and then the EPON 862 is for the fuel tanks.
Yeah. Well, the reason for which I use the MGS is that first of all, it's made for aircraft, and it's very rigid, and I don't have to post cure. I found out when I was post curing my stuff, the blades were bending, so I ended up post curing inside the mold. So I'll put the whole mold inside the post cure oven and leave it there, and the aluminum and the steel will just translate the heat inside. But that was a pain in the freaking ass to do that, and that's one of my major problems for when I was making this. So I dropped that resin for using another resin that's just as good, and I don't have to post cure. But you know, for each its own. Whatever you want to use, and whatever, you know.
All right, hey, you guys, thanks very much. Hey, Caffeine, are you back? I see your microphone is muted. I think you wanted to share something earlier today. Caffeine?
Video's off too.
Caffeine?
21.
There he is.
Here he is, Caffeine.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. I have some exit plan to try on.
You have some what?
Some action plan because I have several plans to try on my P40 new setup. Another trimming setup, and then engine setup that I want to try. But unfortunately, just yesterday I twisted my ankle. So
what did you want to go and do that for?
what's that?
What did you want to go and do that for? Several of us could have told you that hurts.
Yeah, it hurts really bad. Yes, it gets better now, but I don't like tomorrow.
You know, your audio is really bad, Caffeine. Maybe you need to move to a better place. You're breaking up.
Okay, let me try. Is it better now?
Yeah, go ahead. Talking.
Oh yeah. So I have some plans for the next flight. P40. I have figured out takes from.
You're still breaking up. Hey.
And I will do some adjustment. But yeah, unfortunately, I twisted my ankle yesterday, so I don't think I can do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, looks like we got everybody in, and I want to end the live stream. And
Hey, Charles, before we go, can I do a little bit of bragging?
A little bit of bragging?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had one of my really young, early 20s commercial pilot student.
Right.
He was flight test day before yesterday.
Yeah.
And he absolutely aced it, above average on just about everything.
Oh, wow.
I was so proud of him.
You should,
And so in 12 years or whatever that I've been back doing this, I have yet to have anyone fail their flight test.
Wow.
That's a good record.
So I was pretty proud of that. Someday I'm going to have one fail, I'm sure. I mean, it's got to happen. But so far, I push them hard, and it works.
Very good, man. Well, you're obviously a good teacher, and credit to you. That's awesome. That's a good record to have, especially in aviation. That's very important. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for coming in, and don't forget to, if you watch this replay, don't forget to do the super thanks. Hit the three dots below the screen and select super thanks, and you can make a donation to the show. My donations are extremely low. I don't know what's going on with Sparky's videos, but I haven't had a donation in some time. So thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to we'll be back Monday. Hope you have a chance to do some flying or do some work in your shop, and come back Monday and tell us all about it. So until then, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah. I got